Yes, kaboom, guys, kaboom. Does defense striking really work up close? Does it work in close? Let's have a look. So he's starting from a long way. And what you're doing, as you get closer, it gets a little bit harder. So now I'm actually 30 centimetres away. And what I'm going to do is do it from a side view as well. Because when I'm doing this technique, what I'm doing is I'm doing a falcon into a falcon into a shoulder catch. And what I'm trying to do is go as close as I can to the pad. There, look. Not that that's allowed, but it means that you can come away from it. So if you're being attacked and you're going back, you can do this technique. You can come away from it, so you're coming away from it. But also, if you manage, when you're in the combat scenario, because sometimes you clatter, sometimes you make clatter, you make contact by accident, because you've got your helmet on, there, and you clatter against the other guy. So that's what happens sometimes. And what you want to do is you want to be able to have that point, or them 2 points there, 1 point to the body. So as you're walking, as he's coming towards you, you've got your point. It might in the chest, it's still a point. And there's a follow-up point, because that's something you've got to remember. You need to have a follow-up point. So this is one of the golden nuggets, what I talk about in some of the other videos. You think about, is it just a hit? Not really. You're not just doing 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit. You're thinking about another follow-up hit, and also trying not to be weak on the other side. So if you're hitting on this side, you open this side. So you've got to be careful you're not open. And you've also got to be thinking, blocking, hitting, like this. Going back to that defensive situation. If somebody's coming towards you, you can put one in there. And how close can you be? We talked about it just a minute ago. And 1, it's getting harder and harder to get close. It's getting harder to hit. So that means if you're not catching it, it doesn't count as a point. In the semi-contact rules, you can't just keep going. It's got to be a clear catch. If it's not a clear catch, you've got to get out there. You've got to get away. So if you don't catch it right, you've got to be out there. You've got to get out and do some more changes before you can go back in. There, look how I lean away. See how I'm leaning away? So I can still be, I'm almost touching the pedal, touching the bottom, but I'm still 1 meter. So that's how close you can be. So it's a bit really about the rules there, that you've got to make sure that you have the right distance, and when you're doing it, think about hitting him when you're going backwards. Because when you're going forwards at the guy, in their theory, that guy's moving backwards as you're hitting, unless you get stood still, and then you have to come around. You have to come around the guy. You have to come around. There, look. Lost reception. So you're coming around the guy, around the guy, moving around, Look how he's moving around. Just doing the strikes, moving around to there. But when he's coming to you, has anybody thought about that? Have you thought about training that when that guy's hitting you and you're going backwards, are you hitting him? Because he's hitting you and getting his points, but what about your points? Remember that. So if you can, you want to practice going close with the person, but leaning back and walking backwards. So I'm moving backwards. I've got that little striking. So you want to think about that as well when you're in that combat scenario. It's important, and also it's important to be able to count. So food for thought as well is that you want to be able to count him and you, because you don't know what that ref is doing, because you're so engrossed in your fight. You don't know. You don't have a screen. You don't have a screen saying that the counters are counting this. And if you did on the big wall, which we used to, You ain't got time to look at that and say, oh yeah, he's at this. You ain't got time. So you want to be able to count you and the other person and then take an average. And that's how you stay in front. You want to be 5 points in front. So important to be in front. 5 points in front, and then you winner chicken dinner, innit? You know. So guys, I hope that was useful today. And answers the question is, does it work? Because I think yes, it works. It does work close fighting. It does work close striking. But you still have to adapt it, because remember, you need to be 1 meter away. 1 meter away, like we talked about in the last video, where we have 1 meter. You need to be 1 meter away. So that means if your foot is there, you're still 1 meter away. But in reality, look, you can touch him. You can touch him. But you're still 1 meter away. 1 meter. So guys, well done. It does work. Practice your short strikes, your 2 and your long 2 strikes, but also practice your defensive strikes coming back from that person. Great guys. Nice to see everybody. Don't forget to click, subscribe, share it with your friends, follow me on Instagram and also on Facebook. Take it easy, and I'll see you tomorrow.